Hello! Alright, so today our craft is how to decoupage a tin can using a napkin. And all you need is a few simple materials. So first thing you need to do is find a tin can. This was a spaghetti sauce can. This one may have been a coffee can or something. A soup can would work good. So just rescue a can from your recycle bin and then wash it and make sure all of the label is off of the can, and then paint it with a thin coat of white paint. I just used acrylic on this, and as you can see, it did start to scratch off a little bit in places, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be perfect. We're going to cover this up. It's just something to as the background, because the napkins that we're using are quite light and thin, so it will show the silver through. So we just want to coat the can in something, and it doesn't have to be white. It could be any color, really. Just pick a color that that you're okay with showing through, and you can leave it without paint on it. As you can see, this one I did not paint the background, so as you can see here, you can kind of see the silver coming through in places. So it's up to you how you want it to look. So you can paint it or not, that's up to you. So then after you've painted your can, all you need to prepare your napkins. So find some napkins that have a pretty design on them. These ones just have a design around the edge, so we're only going to be using the edge pieces that have the flowers on it. If you can find some napkins that have a big design over it, that's really nice, because then you can coat that over your whole can or most of it. So then you're going to take your napkin, and there's actually two pieces on the napkin. So you want to find a corner that started to separate a little bit, and then just tear them apart, because we only want the top layer. So you just pull them apart a little bit. Just work it apart a little bit at a time. It's okay if it rips, because we're going to rip out the middle white piece anyway. So this part we don't need, you can discard that. Then this part we are going to rip along here so that we get rid of the white, because we don't want the white. It's just going to become clear once we add the Mod Podge to it. It's alright too if you leave a little bit on, because we're going to overlap in places anyway. So you want different size pieces. You can have a long piece, you can have small pieces. That's all good. So you want to rip up some napkins, and I rip them up so that you don't have like these straight edges. You can use scissors if you want. It's up to you. But it's just as easy to rip it, and until you get enough that you think will cover your whole can. So then you need a bit of Mod Podge here, and we'll just squirt a bit of that into a container. And here's how to apply your napkin to your can. So you don't need to apply the Mod Podge directly to the can. You just put it over top of the napkin. So you put your napkin down in place, and then you just put some Mod Podge over that, and then you want to make sure that you cover all of the napkin and just push it down little by little as you go. And you want to try to keep it as smooth as possible so you don't get very many wrinkles, but you just keep going along like that until the napkin is completely covered with your Mod Podge, and you just push it down, because the Mod Podge will kind of go through the napkin, and this is why we wanted to separate the layers so that the Mod Podge can go right through and attach to the can through the napkin. So you keep going, make sure you cover all of the napkin, all of the tin, trying as best as possible not to get any wrinkles. It's kind of impossible at times because the material is so thin, and once it gets the Mod Podge on it, it gets very fragile and will rip very easily. And this overlaps a little bit, and that's okay. So there's our first piece added to the can, and then you just keep going until your whole can is covered. You can add bits and pieces. Try to overlap them so that you don't have two seams in the same spot, so that you can kind of get a more random look. And as you can see here, this is why it doesn't matter so much that the paint isn't completely covering the can, because we're going to cover it anyway. And then once we've got the Mod Podge covering it, the can shouldn't flake off so easily because it's a protective layer. So then you keep going until your can is finished and completely covered with the napkin, and then you set it aside and let it dry, and there you go. Now you've got a decoupaged can using napkins. And then this can be used as a vase. You can put flowers in it, maybe a planter. You can put like a little succulent in it or something, or a pencil holder, or just decoration. You can use it however you like. So next time you're out in the stores, just keep your eye out for some pretty napkins, because you can use them for more than just wiping your face after you eat. Thanks. Bye.